Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on, the slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm going to burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you for Bettor Off Dead, Monday, August 11th. And I don't know how good this mic is as far as being directional and keeping all the sound up, but we got landscaping going on because I'm in a complex and it is really fucking irritating to me. It seems like they're doing it like 3 fucking times a week. It's like, just leave me the fuck alone. I'm trying to podcast here. Trying to do Bettor Off Dead, guys. Come on. Pissing me off. Not a good Sunday. 0-1 yesterday. Had the over in Miami, Atlanta, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think the female umpire ruined that bet. Atlanta obviously scored enough for their end of the bargain. They won the game 7-1, so we missed by 1 run on the over 8.5 there. Miami couldn't get it together, man, shockingly, because Atlanta had used every single relief pitcher they have in their bullpen the previous day, and it seemed like they were just getting the calls, dude. Like, literally right away, the game opens. Wentz throws the first pitch like 6 inches inside, and the woman umpire calls it a called strike. Like, are you fucking kidding me? She should be fired, man. I'm done with this DEI bullshit. I don't know. I do not want robot umpires either, man. Just let's go back old school. Let's have the male umpires. If they get some shit wrong, get in their face. Because you can't do that with a woman either, right? If you're a dude, it's not a good look. So you can't get up on a woman's grill and be like, what the fuck was that call? You calling that a fucking strike? You can't do that. So, yeah, I'm pissed about it, obviously. I think that could have been a win. And actually, let me see. Let me see if Miami actually had a solid amount of hits in the game, which might piss me off even more if that's the case. Because that means it was so much closer, man. Let me see. Miami had 6 hits, so debatably they should have had more than 1 run to show for it, although Atlanta was efficient. They only had 9 hits, and they scored 7 runs. They probably should have scored a little bit fewer than that, so I guess it is what it is. And Atlanta did have to use their bullpen for almost half the game and still wound up not allowing runs, which is just bad. You would think that a used-up bullpen would get hit. And we're going to talk about maybe some somewhat used-up bullpens today as well. I have one play. I don't like this Major League Baseball card, even though Monday, I actually do usually like it. But let's get into it, man. Let's do the rundown. We do have one WNBA game and a somewhat shortened MLB card, although I think there's still 10 or 11 MLB games today. But usually with MLB, the crossover from one series to the next with the travel situations and whatever, usually I can find some like sides that I like, but today, not really the case. WNBA, I don't like this game either. Connecticut at Golden State. Golden State's down from a 9-point favorite to an 8-point favorite. Haven't had any dildos, I don't think. I don't think any dildo ruined the holy day of Saturday yesterday. Andrew, you're betting on what? Purple dildo? It might happen today. I mean, Golden State, one of their colors is purple, so who knows? But who's even going to go to this game against the atrocious Connecticut Sun? Connecticut played yesterday as well. at Las Vegas. So not really traveling that far, but they aren't a back-to-back. So I don't know if that's really the greatest spot for Connecticut. Golden State is just staying at home with a little bit of extra rest off of ending a loss streak that they had also to Las Vegas. What's going to happen in this game? I don't know, but I would kind of disagree with that line movement there. I think Connecticut's in a pretty bad spot. Golden State does have to keep playing because they're playing for getting into the playoffs right now. So I would lean to Golden State in that game, but obviously I'm not going to recommend a play on that. Robin, what's up? It's going to be orange. What's the theory behind that? Orange. All right. To match your red hair, I guess. I'm not sure. MLB, we got games that are all in the evening here. We do have Philadelphia at Cincinnati a little bit earlier than the rest for whatever reason. Cincinnati returning home from a road trip, and I always point out teams that return home from road trips, not a very good spot. They can tend to be a little bit distracted, although maybe not the case with Cincinnati because they're trying to make the playoffs right now, and Philadelphia is a pretty good team, so I don't think they're really going to overlook Philadelphia. Cincinnati salvaged their series at Pittsburgh after losing the first two. They won the last two. So they're playing decent baseball right now. And on the surface, this starting pitching matchup looks like it is heavily in favor of Cincinnati. But there may be some reasons that isn't the case, besides the fact that Cincinnati's returning home from the road trip, which, again, you have to get back to home life. That can add distractions. Some cases, more so in some cases than in other cases. Bullpen-wise, the bullpen usage, I believe, is actually probably on Philadelphia's side here. Let me see. Or no, actually, maybe not. What am I thinking? They used 4 relief pitchers yesterday. Cincinnati used 5, though, so I guess that's what I was thinking. So Cincinnati's bullpen is the better one of the two, but it is used up a little bit. Philadelphia has the better offense, obviously. But I don't think Philadelphia has the better starter at all with Taijuan Walker, who doesn't go deep into games, and he does walk guys as well, as his name would suggest. 3.53 ERA this year, pretty good, but 1.3 whip, not good. Better on the road, though, 2.8 ERA on the road. But as I said, he doesn't go deep into games, man, although they're letting him go further now. He was coming out of the bullpen for a while. They've kind of ramped him up to the point where now he is going like a starter's workload. He did actually make it 6 innings last time out in his best outing of the season, shutting out Baltimore with 4 strikeouts and no walks, 4 hits allowed. Pretty good start from Walker. But prior to that, he wasn't doing that well. He had no strikeouts in the prior start against the White Sox, which is definitely a concern. Did okay against the Yankees. The start prior to that didn't do well at all against Anaheim, going only 4 innings, allowing 3 earned runs. Getting through 5 2/3 against the Yankees, only allowing 3 runs on the road is pretty impressive, though. So Walker, he's a little bit older now. He's definitely a mixed bag. I don't really expect him to go deep into games like this. Against the Cincinnati Reds, he does have good numbers against them, though, in 46 at-bats. 6 to 6 strikeout walk ratio is not good, and also 6 RBI, 6.66, that's really not good. But he has allowed a 217 batting average and 590 OPS, so they really have not hit him for any hard contact, really, or power. So Walker does have pretty good numbers against Cincinnati, although this is a pretty hitter-friendly park, but I'm pretty sure he's pitched there before. Andrew Abbott is pitching for Cincinnati. He's been their best starter. 2.34 ERA, 1.13 whip, 2.05 ERA at home. Abbott definitely been good. He's been a little bit shakier over his last 3 starts, though, allowing multiple walks in all 3 starts. 10 walks compared to 11 strikeouts over that span. That's not a great sign. He's not in the greatest form right now, although he still wasn't allowing many runs. The most runs he allowed in that stretch was 4 last time out at Wrigley Field, facing a pretty difficult Cubs lineup, so I might give him a little bit of a pass for that. But walking 8 guys in the prior 2 starts looks a little bit concerning, man. So Abbott looks to be kind of out of form right now. Going up against Philadelphia, who, again, is not an easy offense to face. They've hit him pretty well in the past, in 49 at-bats, 286 batting average, 850 OPS. So Abbott might not do as well in this game. So this game, on the surface, it looks like, well, Abbott is the way better pitcher, which in general I would say, yeah, he is. But the situation, Cincinnati having used a lot of their bullpen, Abbott with the matchup numbers not being that good against Philadelphia, better offense, it all does kind of balance out, man. So I would be a little bit worried about this, although I think the public is going to want to take Philadelphia here because even though they probably know who Abbott is, you see Cincinnati as the lesser team, as a favorite. I think the public is going to be tempted to grab Philadelphia as an underdog because it just looks easy, right? Take the better team as an underdog. Looks easy to do that. So that kind of makes me not want to do that either. I just don't want to play this game at all. Cincinnati down from minus 125 to minus 120. 53% of tickets, 60% of the cash coming in on Cincinnati. So the money is slightly on Cincinnati based on the percentages. Looks like the stronger read is actually towards the over, with the total going up to 9.5. 50% of tickets evenly split. 71% of the cash on the over, though. I don't really disagree with that because these bullpens aren't really that good. Both offenses do have potential to hit pretty hard. Andrew Abbott does have bad matchup numbers. I don't trust Taijuan Walker at all. Abbott not in the greatest form right now either, and both bullpens not trustworthy and not rested, so I could see the argument for an over in that game. And it is a pretty hitter-friendly ballpark, too, so that might be the better way to look at that game. Raul, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. I will let you know, you can see in the title, the one game I'm going to recommend to play on is Detroit White Sox, which I know nobody wants to look at that game, but I think there is a pretty good angle in that game, which I will get to it if my voice holds up. My voice is terrible right now, so I will not be doing any ukulele for a while. Minnesota at the Yankees. Yankees just lost a series to Houston, but they are staying at home, so they're not traveling. The Yankees have something to play for. Whereas Minnesota is out of it, so they don't really have anything to play for other than the fact that, well, maybe you just get up to play the Yankees because the Yankees are a name team. You know, they have one of the better records in baseball, so for that reason, maybe Minnesota will show up. They are starting a road trip, which does tend to be a little bit of a focus spot. They've actually won 4 of their last 5 games, which isn't that bad either. So Minnesota with a little bit of momentum coming into this one. Both bullpens are bad, so throw that out there. The Yankees actually probably have the better of the two bullpens. Minnesota used a lot of their bullpen yesterday as well. They used 5 relief pitchers, although a couple of them didn't throw that many pitches and might be available again today. Yankees only used 3 of their relievers, although their bullpen really hasn't been that good. But Minnesota's has been worse. Yankees obviously have the better offense. They have a couple of big edges in this game, plus, staying at home. Zebby Matthews pitching for Minnesota. It looks like he was on the DL again, but I don't really think that's true because I think he did pitch. I think he's pitching on normal rest here, so I don't know what the deal is with that. He's a young pitcher that does have talent, does have strikeout ability, but his numbers don't really show it so far. 5.17 ERA, 1.38 whip is not good. He's worse on the road, 5.63 ERA on the road. That's not good either. He did pitch on August 5th. Like I said, I don't know when he wasn't on the DL since I think mid-July or whatever. I thought they sent him down actually. So I don't know why it says he's on the injured list. And fucking ESPN, whenever somebody's on the injured list, you can't see their batter versus pitcher stats. Fuck that. His last start was good at Detroit, which is not an easy place to pitch. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk against a decent Detroit lineup in 5 innings, 1 earned run allowed. So that was a good start for him. Had 1 bad start mixed in there against the Red Sox. He's actually been kind of alternating good and bad starts, really. Went 5 innings long, 1 run against the A's at their hitter-friendly park. Then got wrecked at Coors Field. Gave up 5 earned runs, so that's a hitter-friendly park as well. Then he shut out Washington. Then he got hit pretty hard by the Red Sox, who were a pretty decent offense. More bangers. You mean the ukulele? Or my jokes? I don't know. Leroy, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out, everybody. So Zebby Matthews kind of has been alternating good and bad starts, which would mean his start this time would be bad. And it's not an easy place to pitch, obviously, against the Yankees. Maybe he'll step it up to face the Yankees. Yankees really have not seen a lot of him. Only McMahon has ever seen him before. Yankees third baseman that they got right before the trade deadline from Colorado. And he is 1 for 2 off Matthews with a home run and a strikeout. But really not a whole lot you can glean from those numbers. I don't think Matthews will be unfamiliar to the Yankees hitters, so that might give Matthews a little bit of an extra edge, actually. I do think he has a high ceiling. Like, I think his potential is better than what his numbers look like right now. I might argue the same thing for the Yankees pitcher here, Will Warren. 4.44 ERA, 1.42 whip. Those are not good numbers. He's been way better at home, though. 2.88 ERA at home, even though it is a hitter-friendly park. He's only allowed 3 earned runs across his last 3 starts, going at least 5 innings in all 3 starts, which is a decent sign. Although what's not a decent sign is he's walked 3 guys in 4 of his last 5 outings, which is not good either. So Warren, definitely a mixed bag. He's definitely putting too many guys on base. He does have decent strikeout potential. Sometimes it's pretty hard to hit, but he does walk guys. I believe that the offense that he's facing here probably hasn't seen that much of him. Minnesota, let me see. Because I think this is Warren's first season in the majors, maybe. Yeah, Minnesota's never faced Warren before. So he also has a little bit of an edge there in that he hasn't been seen before. So this game... Interesting game. Yankees up from minus 160 to minus 173. 69% of tickets, 76% of the cash coming on the Yankees. I don't really disagree with the Yankees side. I mean, if you take into account the full game and whatever, and the entire situation and the bullpens, the offense, I think the Yankees should win this game. Not that I want them to as a Red Sox fan. I think first 5 innings could be more of an under type of game, though, because both pitchers have decent potential, and they're both pretty unfamiliar to the opposing offenses. I don't think I would want to risk it, but I could see the first 5 innings going under, and then as the game shifts later into the game, more runs scored against these bullpens that aren't that good. Wouldn't necessarily disagree with an over, though, on the full game, just because of that, and because you don't really know what you're going to get out of either starter. 76% of tickets, 99% of the cash on the over, which is at a heavily juiced over 8.5 right now. Detroit, Chicago, I'll skip right now because I'm going to give out a play on that. Pittsburgh at Milwaukee. Milwaukee is on a hot streak right now. I mean, they've won a bunch of games in a row. What is this, 9 games in a row now for the Yankees? Or, excuse me, the Yankees. That would suck, not the Yankees, the Brewers. Why do I keep saying the wrong team, man? I'm on no sleep. I apologize. Maybe I'm stroking out. Milwaukee has won 9 games in a row. They just swept the New York Mets. They're on a real hot streak right now. And yesterday, they were losing this game big early in the game, and they still won the game. They were losing 5-0 in the 4th inning, and then they won the game anyway. They were still losing, I think, later into the game, too. They were down 1 run in the 8th inning, scored to tie it, and then won with a walk-off in the 9th. Brewers just out of control, hot right now, man. Pittsburgh coming into this game. So Milwaukee's at home, but they are off a very dramatic win. Could be a letdown spot for Milwaukee, man, because that's a big series sweep with a huge comeback win over the Mets and kind of revenge for Milwaukee, really, because I think when you sweep the team that eliminated you from the playoffs last year, now you're really feeling like, oh, yeah, like you're going to feel really good about yourself. And are you really going to pay that much attention to the Pittsburgh Pirates coming into your place? Maybe not. So I do think there is a letdown component here for Milwaukee. Pittsburgh coming in off of a couple of losses to Cincinnati. They're starting a road trip, which does tend to be a focus spot. You got to think Pittsburgh, even though they're out of it, they're facing the team with the best record in baseball, so they're probably going to show up, and it's a divisional foe. So Pittsburgh probably will want to show up and play in this game. J-Main, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming back again. Andrew Heaney. Well, actually, first of all, I should say the bullpens. I actually give Milwaukee a bullpen edge in this game at this point. Pittsburgh's bullpen is actually deceptively pretty good, but they're not as good as Milwaukee's at this point, and they used a lot of relief pitchers yesterday, and Milwaukee did not. So Milwaukee is the better and more rested bullpen. Milwaukee is the way better offense. And on the surface, I would say they probably have the better pitcher, too. Andrew Heaney is pitching for Pittsburgh. He's been a really mixed bag this year. 4.77 ERA, 1.27 whip, not that bad, but he's been really bad on the road. 6.55 ERA on the road. Last couple of starts, he didn't even make it 5 innings in either of them. Only had 2 strikeouts across 8 innings, allowing 4 earned runs against Colorado, though granted that was a Coors Field, so maybe you give him a pass for that. And then San Francisco, not a good offense. So Heaney, I mean, he hasn't really been in good form for a while. He had 1 good start in the mix there against Arizona, but other than that, he's been pretty bad for a while now for the last 5 or so starts. Not really good. Up against Milwaukee, who does have a good offense. Like I said, they've hit him pretty hard. And 61 at bats, 15-8 strikeout walk ratio, 5 home runs, 3 of them from Joey Ortiz, though. It was 3 for 5 with 3 home runs off him. So maybe some player prop potential there, even though it's a very small sample size. Milwaukee overall is a 344 average against him and 1,092 OPS. So even though it could be a letdown spot for Milwaukee here, I'm not jumping out of my seat at all to want to fade Milwaukee here because I think they have the matchup edge in every aspect of this game. Even though I don't like Jose Quintana that much, who is starting for Milwaukee here, he does still have a 3.57 ERA, so he keeps chugging along and limiting runs, man, however he's doing it, because 1.34 whip is not very good. He's worse at home as well, 4.91 ERA at home. He's coming off a nice outing against Atlanta where he allowed 3 earned runs in 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, no walks. That's pretty good. I mean, that's the highest strikeout tally he's had maybe all season. Yeah, all season. He's not really a strikeout guy. It does show you that he did have command in that outing, though. But I think Atlanta is a pretty strikeout-prone offense. So usually you're not going to get that many strikeouts out of Quintana, but he's also somehow not allowing runs, even though he's been putting too many guys on base for the most part, a lot via the walk. He's only allowed more than 4 earned runs twice this season, and it hasn't happened since mid-June. So, I mean, he is pitching effectively, at least to some extent. Going up against, who are we talking about? Pittsburgh? Yeah, very bad offense in Pittsburgh. Probably the worst in all of baseball. 90 at-bats against them, so a lot of track record against Pittsburgh, and he's held them down. 23 strikeouts, 8 walks, 233 average, 640 OPS. So I do think you got to give the edge to Quintana as well. So Milwaukee, they got the edge across the board here. They're a huge favorite, but they're down from minus 223 to minus 192 now. 78% of tickets, 92% of the cash on Milwaukee, though. So it's kind of hard to read what's going on here in the market, man, with that being the case. I mean, I do think Milwaukee, if you're going to have to play this game, I would probably say you want to go with Milwaukee either over their team total or you go on Milwaukee run line or something like that, even though they would have to win by multiple runs at home, and they might not bat in the 9th inning. But probably would do that or leave the game alone, even though it's a letdown spot for Milwaukee, so I'm certainly not going to do it at all. Washington at Kansas City. Kansas City, debatably, they still have something to play for because I don't think they're totally, completely out of it yet, although they are 2 games below 500 now. So they might be starting to feel it. They're coming off a loss to Minnesota. They just had a 3-series road trip. So they're returning from Toronto, Boston, Minnesota. So as I always say, returning home from road trips, you tend to be a little bit unfocused, and it's an interleague matchup against a pretty bad Washington team. So Kansas City might fall into a distraction spot here, man. They might not totally focus on this Washington team that's been really bad. Washington definitely has the worst of the 2 bullpens, so they didn't use a lot of their bullpen yesterday. Kansas City used more of theirs, but you still got to give Kansas City the bullpen edge. Washington's is terrible. Washington does have the better offense. Kansas City's is really bad. As far as the starting pitching, I probably would lean to Washington's starting pitcher here as well. Cade Cavalli, even though I have some hesitation here because we don't really know what he's going to be yet. He does have a 0 ERA and .92 whip so far, but he only made 1 start this season. He's made 2 in his entire Major League career. He made 1 start last year that was really bad. His start this year was actually fairly good against the A's, even though he only went 4 1/3, and it was at home. He shut them out, had 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 3 hits. So he had command. He was striking guys out. A's are a pretty good offense, really, so that was a pretty decent performance from Cavalli. And the fact that he's now going up against a team that's never faced him before, and it's a bad lineup in Kansas City, so he's actually stepping down in class to face a weaker opponent here in Kansas City. He might actually do well in this game. Only Jonathan India has seen him before, and he is 1 for 1, also with a walk, but I wouldn't take that much away from that. I think Cavalli could have the upper hand here because they haven't seen him before. Bailey Falter is pitching for Kansas City. Decent numbers this season, 4.14 ERA, 1.23 whip. He's mostly been with Pittsburgh this year. His ERA at home, 3.39, although I believe that was all with Pittsburgh because Kansas City just got him, and he's only made 1 start as a member of the Royals, and he got bombed at Fenway Park, gave up 7 earned runs in 4 innings to my Boston Red Sox, so he did not do well in that game. He's not really in good form right now, man. He walked 4 guys in the previous outing against San Francisco. Was better at home with the Pirates, though, so he is at home here in Kansas City. He might have to get used to Kansas City's park, but it is a pitcher-friendly park, Kauffman Stadium. But he did pitch here once this year early in the season. He pitched against Kansas City. When was that? I know he did. Oh, it was more recent. And he did not do well, actually, in this stadium against the Royals, who don't have a good offense. He went 4 2/3, gave up 3 earned runs on 6 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, so he actually pitched pretty poorly in this stadium this year. Maybe that's not a good sign. Up against Washington, he has okay numbers, but they have seen him before. 42 at-bats, 11-5, strikeout walk ratio is not that good. Most of the damage is all from Josh Bell, though. 5 for 9 with both home runs Washington has against him. He has held them to a 238 average, which is definitely low, but a 748 OPS. Getting a little bit on the higher side. So just because of the unfamiliarity aspect in the situation, my lean in this one would be to Washington in the first 5 innings, money line, because I would not want to do anything with Washington full game here because I don't want to touch their bullpen at all. But Kansas City's down from minus 155 to minus 145, 56% of tickets, 72% of the cash on Washington. So it does look like the money's coming in on Washington. In a spot like this, I don't think Kansas City deserves to be favored by that much, even though, yes, Kansas City, generally, I would say they should have some motivation if they think they're still in it, but it's a tough spot, man. And the longest road trip return spot of the day is Kansas City. So they were on the longest road trip out of the teams that are returning from road trips here. So that's not great. Not a good spot. Speaking of bad spots, St. Louis Cardinals against Colorado Rockies. St. Louis is in a bad spot. They played the Sunday night game. And, you know, one of my angles on Monday, which I think is basically every professional handicapper uses this angle. You take a look at who played in the Sunday night game. Was it a big matchup? Who won that game? And in this case, St. Louis pulled off a nice home win over the Cubs. I mean, that's a big win. St. Louis pretty much knows they're out of it at this point. And to beat the Cubs like that on primetime on ESPN, that's a big win, man. So they're staying at home, basking in that. So it does look like a letdown spot to me for St. Louis. And, of course, they have a quick turnaround time, although they aren't traveling. But still, they played last night, whereas every other team played in the afternoon for the most part. Colorado is having to travel in from Arizona, but they are on a bad stretch, man. 7 losses in a row. They've allowed double-digit runs in 4 of their last 6 games, although we know Colorado's not good. But St. Louis is a lesser offense than Arizona and Toronto, I would say. So Colorado stepping a little bit down in class to face this St. Louis team, really, after those 2 teams. So we'll see what Colorado's able to do here. They are having to travel in, but they do have a little bit of extra rest. St. Louis has the better bullpen, although it's not a great bullpen at this point. They did trade away Helsley, their closer. They only used 2 relief pitchers yesterday, though. Colorado also only used 2, though. So bullpen situation, I still give the edge to St. Louis because Colorado's bullpen is pretty atrocious. But I don't know if that's really the full extent of the handicap here. Colorado does have the worst offense as well. St. Louis does have the better offense, but the situation's bad for St. Louis, and the starting pitching matchup, you could maybe argue that Colorado has a chance to keep this game close with this starting pitching matchup with Chase Dollander on the mound, who is a rookie. I believe he's been down in the minors. He was definitely struggling in the majors. There's no doubt about that, but he is a young guy with some upside. 6.68 ERA, 1.56 whip. Yeah, those are not good numbers, but his numbers have been really bad in Coors Field, which, again, Coors Field could destroy pitchers, man. He's been at least serviceable on the road with a 4.25 road ERA. Again, they sent him down to the minors. Now he's coming back up. He's got to face St. Louis here. Sometimes when guys go down to the minors, sometimes they kind of figure stuff out and they come back up and pitch a little bit better. Up against St. Louis, let's see, because, they want to turn it around, but they get a little bit more motivated. And St. Louis has actually never seen Dollander before, so maybe he has a little bit of an edge just because this team hasn't seen him before, but that edge hasn't really helped him so far this year, so maybe that's not that much of an edge, the unfamiliarity. He is going up against Miles Mikolas for St. Louis, though, who is a veteran pitcher, throws junk, and he's not that good. 5.11 ERA, 1.32 whip, not great numbers. He's definitely better at home, though. 3.67 ERA at home. Coming off a pretty bad outing on the road against the Dodgers. Only went 3 innings, allowed 5 earned runs, 3 home runs, 7 hits, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. The prior month, he had a decent 19-3 strikeout walk ratio, but he failed to go 5 innings in one of the starts. He had a 5.06 ERA that month still, so he wasn't exactly great over the course of that month. He's not exactly good in general. Up against Colorado, though, we know Colorado is a weak offense, but he actually isn't that good against Colorado either, although it's a very small sample size, 23 at-bats. Colorado does have a 304 average against him, no strikeouts, 1 walk, and a 725 OPS, which isn't really that high, but the unfamiliarity edge and the situation, maybe you could argue you want to look to Colorado. I would probably take their bullpen out of the equation, though. Maybe go Colorado run line first 5 innings if you really want to try to do something in this game. That might be the way to look in this game, and go for Colorado to try to keep this game close in the early parts of this game. St. Louis down from -215 to -203, 75% of tickets, 81% of the cash on them. I think St. Louis probably doesn't deserve to be this heavy of a favorite. I mean, you're always going to pay a tax for basically any Colorado opponent this year because Colorado is so bad. But those are my thoughts on that game. Arizona at Texas. Texas just got swept by Philadelphia at home. They're staying at home, so at least they don't have to travel. So Texas, they're probably going to show up, man, because, I mean, they have to, basically. They're falling out of playoff contention here. Texas needs to show up and start playing better. Arizona is out of it, so motivation should be on the side of Texas here. Arizona is coming in with momentum, though. They just swept Colorado, which, again, I mean, not impressive to sweep Colorado. They are starting a road trip where you do tend to be focused to start a road trip. So at least Arizona might be focused for that reason, starting a road trip against Texas. Although, again, Arizona knows that they don't really have anything left to play for. Bullpen-wise, Texas definitely has a better bullpen. Arizona's is not very good. Texas used 4 relief pitchers yesterday, though. Arizona only used 3, but I think you still have to give Texas the bullpen advantage in this game. Starting pitching, kind of interesting. Ryan Nelson is pitching for Arizona, and he's doing a lot better than I would have thought. 3.2 ERA, 1.05 whip. Those are good numbers. He is worse on the road, though. 4.5 ERA on the road, even though Arizona plays in a hitter-friendly park. So you try to figure that out. I don't know. Over his last 2 starts, he's actually been pretty good with 16 strikeouts and 2 walks in 11 innings, which is pretty good, and only allowing 3 earned runs over that span against Detroit on the road and then San Diego. So offenses that are not pushovers. So he's actually in pretty decent form over the last 2 starts at least, and he's stepping down in class to face a pretty weak Texas offense here. Nelson, though, doesn't have good numbers against Texas in 38 at-bats, 5.4 strikeout walk ratio. 3 different Texas hitters have homers off him, 289 batting average allowed, 962 OPS. So his numbers are actually not good against Texas. So Nelson might actually struggle in this game because he is worse on the road, and his numbers against Texas are actually not good. Nathan Eovaldi is pitching for Texas, and you got to think he can't continue to be this good over the course of this season as a 35-year-old, but man, is he having a good season. 1.38 ERA, 0.84 whip. He's been basically pretty good home and away. It doesn't really matter that much. He's allowed 2 earned runs going all the way back through the beginning of July right now in 38 2/3 innings pitched. He's only allowed 22 hits over that span. Only allowed 1 home run over that span and has a 36-8 strikeout walk ratio over that span. And he's coming off of 8-inning 1-hit shutout. Coming off of a 8-inning 1-hit shutout and 8-inning 1-hit shutout over the Yankees with 6 strikeouts, no walks. Really good outing for him there. Does that mean he's going to be in a letdown spot? I don't know. And Texas has also won 6 straight starts of his. Eovaldi obviously pitching really well right now. Against Arizona, his numbers are actually not as good as you would think. In 63 at-bats, 15-5 strikeout walk ratio is all right, but 286 batting average, 783 OPS, a little bit high. So both starting pitchers actually don't have great matchup numbers here. I could see an argument for the over in this game, man. I mean, the total's gone down from 8 to 7.5, so it's a very low total because it's Eovaldi on the mound. It's a pitcher-friendly park. Texas's offense isn't that good. We know Arizona does have the better offense here, but 56% of tickets, 58% of the cash on the over. It could be a little bit of a sneaky over here, man. You don't have a whole lot of leeway with a 7.5 total here, so I could see the argument for that. And the money looks like it's coming in on Arizona as well, with Texas sitting at -155, 77% of tickets on them, 57% of the cash coming in on Arizona. I'm not sure that I would agree with that. Texas is the team that does have something to play for at least, but I think some of it is just that I think the sense from the professional bettors is, again, that the price is probably too high on Texas, especially with the way that they can't hit. So we'll see what happens there. Boston, my Red Sox are at the Astros. This is a revenge spot for the Astros because the Astros just got swept at Fenway Park a few series ago. So Houston probably will want to show up for this, although Houston is returning home from a road trip. And they were on actually a 3-series road trip as well, so one of the longer road trips. They went to Boston, Miami, and New York, so they're returning from the East Coast. They could be in a letdown spot because they did win the series against Miami and against New York. So they're returning home from beating the Yankees and beating them up yesterday, which is big. They should still be focused on the Red Sox, though, because the Red Sox, again, just swept them not that long ago, and the Red Sox have a good record as well. So I don't expect Houston to be totally distracted, but it is kind of a bad spot for them returning home like that. The Red Sox are continuing a road trip coming in from San Diego, so they are shifting time zones as well, but they're already in the middle of a road trip, so I think the spot is a little bit worse for Houston here. Bullpen-wise, I would say Houston probably has the better bullpen of the two. I think it's close, though. Houston actually has the best bullpen whip now, though their ERA isn't the best. Red Sox have fallen off a little bit. Whip-wise, the Red Sox whip isn't that good, although the ERA is actually still amongst the best. So Houston does have somewhat of a bullpen edge here. I'd probably give the Red Sox a hitting edge a little bit here. Yeah, as you can see, Red Sox 6th in OPS, Houston 11th. So take from all that what you will, but the Red Sox do have one of the best pitchers in the game on the mound here. Garrett Crochet, 2.24 ERA, 1.07 whip. He's been actually better on the road, 2.08 ERA. I mean, Fenway's a pretty hitter-friendly park. Red Sox have won a lot of his recent starts, man. They've won 5 starts in a row behind him. They've won 9 of his last 10 starts. He's allowed no more than 2 earned runs going all the way back to late June in any start. He's got at least 5 innings in every game. He's got at least 6 in his last 4 starts, including starts against the Cubs and the Dodgers. So he faced 2 really good lineups and did really well against them. I mean, Crochet, he's feeling it right now. He's doing well. Had another good outing last time out against Kansas City, even though they suck. He had another high strikeout rate in that one. He's got a 39-7 strikeout walk ratio since the beginning of July. We get it. He's pitching really well right now. Up against Houston, I don't think his numbers are actually that good in his career, though. Let me see. 36 at-bats, 306 average, allowed 736 OPS. Hasn't allowed a ton of power, but 13-4 strikeout walk ratio, high strikeout rate, somewhat of a high walk rate as well, a little bit. So Crochet, I mean, he doesn't have the best numbers against Houston. They're not the worst either. I believe he didn't even face Houston the last time the Red Sox played Houston, so I don't think he's faced them this year. I don't expect Crochet to really do poorly, though. And Houston has Christian Javier pitching. He's coming back from the Javier. He's coming back from the DL, man. He's been injured since last season. He hasn't pitched yet in the majors this year. Last year, he had a 3.89 ERA. I think he only made about 7 starts. His ERA was good, but his whip was pretty bad, 1.41. Something happened to him, man. I'm not sure what, because through 2022, he actually had really good numbers. And then it was like all of a sudden, his numbers got way worse, but his walk rate, I think it must be his walk rate got way higher or something, because I don't know what the deal is otherwise. Yeah, it looks like it did. Yeah, over the last couple of seasons, he started walking way more guys. So there's something a little bit off about Javier. I don't know how he's going to respond to returning from being out of Major League Baseball for this long. I didn't look to see what he did in the minors. Although last year he was actually way better at home. He had a 1.93 ERA at home last year. But again, what should we expect out of a guy that's been out of baseball, out of Major League Baseball for so long? I'm not so sure, man. But the Red Sox are definitely not going to be that familiar with him because the Red Sox have a lot of young guys. They have 22 at-bats against him. 6.6 strikeout walk ratio is not good for Javier. But he has limited them to a 227 batting average. 756 OPS is a little bit high, mostly because of all the walks and a few doubles in there. So again, I mean, you got to give the starting pitching edge to Crochet, though. I mean, he's just that good. Javier, you don't even know what you're going to get out of Javier. Red Sox are probably too heavy a favorite here, though, man. I mean, they're a road favorite of a pretty significant amount, which probably they should not be. They're down from minus 165 to minus 163, but 63% of tickets, 77% of the cash coming in on the Red Sox. The money looks like it is coming in on the Red Sox. Total's very low at 7.5, and I see money coming in on the under. 71% of tickets on the over, 89% of the cash on the under. Professional bettors seemingly thinking that Javier is actually going to pitch well in this game. I'm not so sure about that, but again, Houston does have a good bullpen. I could see this being a lower scoring game for sure. Houston returning home from a road trip. Their offense could struggle a little bit. I mean, I might have a slight lean towards the Red Sox being able to win this game, but I don't even know about that. I mean, with that price, there's no way that I would play the Red Sox in that game, though. We got kind of a cross-city rivalry here with LA and Anaheim here. Anaheim is probably in the worst spot here because they are returning home from Detroit, even though they only had one series road trip. But Anaheim returning home from Detroit, although it's the Dodgers, so Anaheim, you figure they will be focused with the Dodgers coming into their place. I mean, it's a big rivalry, the natural interleague rivalry, and it's the Dodgers. I mean, they're one of the best teams still. Dodgers in the better spot, though, because they were just at home, so all they're doing is driving like 30 minutes down the road to Anaheim. So the Dodgers are in the better travel spot here. Anaheim's bullpen is so bad that I think the Dodgers' bullpen is actually better. Dodgers used a few relief pitchers yesterday. They actually used 5, but they only used 2 of them for 4 and 2 pitches apiece. So those 2 guys, Banda and Kasparius, are probably available today as well. Anaheim used 1 relief pitcher, so they did actually save their bullpen, but Anaheim's bullpen's not good, man. So I think the Dodgers still, you probably give them a slight bullpen edge, even though their bullpen's not good either. Starting pitching, you got to give the edge to Yamamoto for the Dodgers. He's been really good. 2.51 ERA, 1.04 whip. Really good on the road, 1.63 ERA on the road. He's coming off a shutout against Tampa Bay over his last 2 starts. He's gone 12 and 2/3, only allowing 9 hits, 1 earned run, and he has a 15-2 strikeout walk ratio over that span. So he's pitching pretty well. He's in good form right now. Hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs since mid-June. So yeah, I mean, he's dealing it right now, feeling good. I believe Anaheim's actually never even faced him before as well. Only Peraza has ever seen him before, and he's 0 for 2 off him with a strikeout. So Yamamoto basically has never been seen before, so he has another edge there against Anaheim in that they're unfamiliar with him. JC, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. So Yamamoto does have the edge here against Jose Soriano, who's got a 4.01 ERA, but a 1.4 whip is very high. He's worse at home as well, 5.56 ERA at home. Not really in good form right now after he allowed 7 earned runs at home to Tampa Bay last time out, which is not a good sign. He was actually pitching decently over the previous few starts, but I think he might be falling out of form again here, man. I don't really trust Soriano. I don't trust him at home. He's up against a good Dodger lineup. Dodgers obviously have the better offense. They only have 9 at-bats against Soriano, but they have a 2.2 strikeout walk ratio, 333 average, and 788 OPS. So they have hit Soriano pretty well. I mean, I'm thinking the Dodgers probably have the edge in this game. I know you have to pay a price for them. They're up from minus 170 to minus 171. 74% of tickets, 95% of the cash coming in on the Dodgers. I would probably lean Dodgers run line first 5 innings, though, if I was going to do this. I think that's the way, and just avoid the bullpens, even though both bullpens aren't very good. I think because Anaheim rested their bullpen, they at least have that going for their bullpen. So that's probably the way that I look at this game. The total sitting at 8.5 with money coming in on the under, 54% of tickets and 73% of the cash on the under. I don't know if I would totally agree with that. San Diego, San Francisco, I do actually agree with an under. I would lean to an under in this game. San Francisco is staying at home, and they just got shut out by Washington. So San Francisco probably going to be in a bad mood here, man. I mean, they're going to show up for this game. So you know that much for San Francisco, at least. It's a big divisional matchup. I mean, San Francisco has even more to play for than San Diego because San Francisco's falling out of it. I mean, they're on the verge of basically looking like their season might be over, so they got to play, man. San Diego also has to because San Diego's in second place here. They got to make sure they get a wild card here. San Diego is coming off beating my Red Sox, and now they're traveling with momentum, so it's not a bad spot for San Diego either, really. They're traveling up the coast to San Francisco, but staying in the same time zone. And with momentum, starting a road trip should be a focus spot for both teams. We have 2 really good bullpens here. These are 2 of the top, few bullpens, ERA-wise, I believe, over the course of the season. San Diego only used 3 relief pitchers yesterday after they used a bunch the previous day. San Francisco only used 1, so these bullpens are in pretty good shape coming into this game, man. So the bullpens look good in this game. I think the only question as far as playing the under in this game is what are you going to get out of Yu Darvish? Because I actually like the under in this game quite a bit. This almost became a play for me. Yu Darvish is just very much an unknown right now, man. He just came back from injury. He's made 4 starts so far, and 3 of the 4 have been bad. Or maybe it's 5. He's only had 1 good start, though. He has a 6.51 ERA, 1.34 whip. Those are not good numbers. Really bad on the road so far, 10.22 ERA, which also worries me. Actually, he's had 6 starts already. My mistake. It feels like he just came back not that long ago, but he's actually really only had 1 good start. He's allowed multiple runs in every start besides the shutout start that he had with the Mets 2 starts ago, but then he kind of regressed again, only going 4 innings, allowing 3 earned runs at Arizona. Although Arizona is a pitcher-friendly park and is a hitter-friendly park, and San Francisco is a pitcher-friendly park, and San Francisco is a bad offense. So Darvish is at least stepping down in class to face this bad offense here. Overall, he looks like he is kind of rounding back into form to some extent, though. Against San Francisco, he also does have good numbers. In 39 at-bats, they only have 6 hits off him, 0 extra base hits, 14-4 strikeout walk ratio, 154 batting average, and 386 OPS. So Darvish does have pretty dominant numbers against San Francisco. Logan Webb is pitching for San Francisco. I mean, he's basically the most consistent starting pitcher for them. 3.24 ERA, 1.25 whip, 2.78 ERA at home, so he is better at home. He's coming off back-to-back one-run outings where he had double-digit strikeouts in both of those outings, so he did come back into form over those last 2 outings, but they were both against Pittsburgh. We know Pittsburgh's a bad offense. San Diego's a little bit better than that, but he did pitch against San Diego in this park earlier this year, and he 8 innings shut out them with 7 strikeouts and no walks, so Webb might do fine in this game against San Diego. His numbers overall are somewhat mediocre in 211 at-bats, so they have a lot of experience against him, but they haven't really hit him for power. They only have 2 home runs off him. They have 43 strikeouts and only 8 walks. That's a pretty good strikeout-walk ratio for Webb against them. A 284 average is a little bit high, so they do hit him for some contact, but not a whole lot of power with a 683 OPS, which is still pretty low. So I would be still fairly comfortable with an under in this game. Total's already dropped from 7.5 to 7. 83% of the tickets, 99% of the cash on the over, but I actually like the under in this game. I'm tempted to do it, man. Should I do it? I mean, it's definitely close to being a play for me. Although I know when I last minute make a play, they tend to always lose, which is why that's like the last play that I put onto my card, man. You know what I mean? Let me look at what's going on here with the market here. We got San Diego. I mean, I might be fading the market with the other one too, but I mean, it so much looks like, hold on, I gotta look at the total here. It really looks like an underplay to me, though. You can get under 7.5 at -115 still at FanDuel. I would go up to -120 on that, which I think you can still find at some places. You know what? Let's do it. Let's have 2 totals today. So that's one of my best bets. So an early best bet there, even though the other one is an earlier game. But 2 totals today. Why not? San Diego, San Francisco. All right, hold on. Yeah, because it's at San Francisco. There you go. San Diego, San Francisco, under 7.5. That'll be one play. We need you to do well, though. You. Come on, you. Let's do it. It's Seinfeld. Oh, you. Dolores. Mova. All right. Tampa Bay and the A's is the last game on the slate here. The A's are returning home from a road trip to the East Coast, so it's not a good spot for the A's, really. I mean, they know they're out of it, and they don't play well at home in this weird A's Sacramento Stadium there. And Tampa is actually one of the teams that's kind of used to this because Tampa is the other team that's playing in a temporary stadium. They're playing in Steinbrenner Field, so Tampa actually kind of used to situations like this, so it might not be that much of a disadvantage for Tampa. The A's returning home from the East Coast where they went to Washington and Baltimore, so a little bit of a bad spot for the A's. Again, you could be a little bit distracted on the return home. Tampa already on the Pacific Coast and coming off getting swept by Seattle, so they might be a little bit angry here. Just traveling down, already adjusted to the Pacific time zone, so Tampa's in a better travel spot here too. So I do lean to Tampa in this game generally, and Tampa obviously has the better bullpen as well. And they used 3 relief pitchers yesterday, which isn't that bad either. The A's used a bunch. They used 5, so the bullpen advantage definitely goes to Tampa Bay as well. Does Tampa have the starting pitching edge? I would say they probably do slightly with Ryan Pepio, even though he's been a little bit all over the place, but his overall numbers are pretty good. 3.77 ERA, 1.18 whip. I know the advanced analytics guys don't like him. He's gotten bombed at home for 17 home runs. I know that, even though his ERA is actually somehow worse on the road, 4.19 ERA on the road. Maybe it's not a good sign for Pepio, though, because he allows a lot of home runs at home. Well, it's because he's thrown way more innings pitched at home. That's why. But in a home run-friendly park like he is at home, maybe that does mean he'll give up some bombs in a similar stadium here, which maybe that's not great. But other than that, I don't know if I hate Pepio. I mean, He did have a decent start last time out to kind of bounce back from a really ugly start at the Yankees, the previous start, which I don't know if I really would knock him that much for losing to the Yankees like that, although Tampa had lost 5 of his starts in a row. He had a few bad starts in there. He might be returning to form a little bit because he did go 5 2/3 against Anaheim, allowed 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. It wasn't that bad of a performance from Pepio in that one. I believe he did face the A's once. Yeah, he faced the A's once not that long ago, early July, so I know that means they've seen him recently, but he pitched fairly well in that game. 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, both on solo homers. Did give up 3 walks, which is a concern, but he also struck out 9, so it was one of his better strikeout performances of the year. The A's are a good offense. I mean, they do have the better offense, so that's the one real edge that they have here. Pepio has done decently against them, except that he's allowed power to them. They're only 8 for 39 off him with 13 strikeouts, 4 walks, but they do have 3 home runs off him, so 3 different hitters have homered off him, but a 205 average, really low. 808 OPS is a little bit high, but I still think Pepio should do okay in this game. On the other side, Jeffrey Springs is actually pitching pretty well for the A's, surprisingly. 3.89 ERA, 1.12 whip. He's only been slightly worse at home, really not significant at all. Over his last 3 starts, he's only allowed 4 combined earned runs over 18 innings. He's only allowed 7 hits over that span, and he has 17 strikeouts and 2 walks. So Springs, he's actually in pretty good form right now, man. He's only allowed more than 3 earned runs once going all the way back to late May. So Springs, yeah, I mean, he's under the radar. He's doing it. He's pitching pretty well as well. His numbers against Tampa, however, are actually not good. In 18 at-bats, it's a very small sample size, but he's allowed 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 home runs, 333 batting average, and 1,206 OPS. So I would still lean to Tampa in this game, man. I think based on the matchup numbers, you do give them the slight edge. The money is coming in towards them. A's have dropped from -120 to -107. 61% of tickets on them, 65% of the cash coming in on Tampa. So money is coming in on Tampa there. Obviously, I agree with that. That is the way that I would lean in that game. And let's go to best bets, man. The rundown. Best bets, even though I already gave you one of the best bets, which was the under in San Diego, San Francisco, under 7.5. We're going to go with that one. And the other good thing about that is that San Francisco's offense is atrocious, and San Diego's has been massively underperforming. The other play is going to be an over, and it's Detroit and the White Sox over 8.5. You can see that at -115, I think, out there right now. And I know going on an over with the White Sox is a little bit of an issue, because their offense is so bad, but their offense hasn't been as bad recently, really. I mean, I know they've lost some games here, but they put up decent run totals in some of those games, 5, 6, 5. A couple of games they didn't do well, but their offense is doing a little bit better as of late, so at least you do have that going for the White Sox. The White Sox are staying at home after breaking a bad loss streak. They'd lost 6 games in a row. They finally beat Cleveland, and they're staying at home. So the White Sox, they may still show up here against Detroit as well, because Detroit, Detroit's leading their division, so the White Sox probably will show up focused and consider it to be a big series with not a whole lot left to play for, but with the division front runner coming to your place, you might show up for that. Detroit is starting a road trip, not a huge travel spot, traveling from Detroit to Chicago. They got a little bit of momentum after beating Anaheim, so Detroit not really in a bad spot either. Detroit, yes, they have a decent bullpen. They're the better of the bullpens. They're the better offense as well. Their bullpen did only use 3 relief pitchers, so their bullpen isn't really in that bad of a spot. So that's the one thing that's kind of pointing against this over is that, but everything else seems to be pointing to the over for me. The White Sox used 4 relief pitchers yesterday, and their bullpen's not good. So that's one thing we got to obviously keep in mind here. And then I don't like the starting pitching matchup. Chris Paddock is pitching for Detroit. Don't think he's very good. 4.91 ERA, 1.25 whip on the season. I know that whip isn't that bad, but he has a 5.4 ERA on the road, which is not good. Detroit got him from Minnesota right at the trade deadline. He had one good start against Arizona, and then he kind of regressed back to his old ways against his old team, no less. So he should have been pumped up to face the team that traded him away, being like, hey, look at this. I'm on a contender now. We're going to beat you. And instead, he lost the game and did terribly against a bad Minnesota offense at home, no less, for Detroit. He went 4 innings, allowed 4 earned runs, had no strikeouts. Although he didn't walk anybody, he did allow 6 hits as well. That's not a good sign. That was not a good start at all for him. So he's not really in great form right now, in my opinion. And the White Sox actually hit him pretty well in 51 at-bats. 10 strikeouts, 3 walks is actually decent for Paddock, but he's allowed 3 home runs to them, to 3 different hitters. 294 batting average allowed, and 824 OPS. So he's allowed the White Sox, even though they're not a good offense, they've actually hit Paddock pretty well. I don't trust Paddock. I don't think he's very good. And the White Sox have Elvis Peguero listed as their starter here. And I don't think that's a good thing. He's basically a relief pitcher, so he's probably only going to come into this game for a couple of innings to open the game. Then you have a White Sox bullpen that doesn't really have a whole lot going on here, so it doesn't look great to me for the White Sox. Peguero, 4.91 ERA, 1.64 whip, and then he's going to give way to the bullpens. Elvis will have left the building. He's also been bad at home, 12 ERA at home. Although I know it's a small sample size, he really hasn't pitched much at all this year so far. So again, I guess you could go look at his previous stats, but I mean, his career stats are nothing impressive at all. 4.12 ERA in his career, 1.46 whip. That's not good. Actually, he was with Milwaukee this season. So Milwaukee, even though they're a contender, Milwaukee must have traded him away, even though they're a contender here. So all these numbers are with Milwaukee. So take from that what you will, I guess. But he's probably not going to be feeling too happy about that either. The fact that he went from the team with the best record in baseball to one of the worst teams in baseball. I mean, that might put you in a bad mental state as well. And again, he hasn't gone more than 2 innings in any of his appearances, so I don't think he's going to be out there for very long. So it doesn't look like it sets up very well for the White Sox either. So I'm going to go over in this game. Total's up a little bit, 8.5 with more juice on the over here. The percentages, we don't really see much going on with the percentages yet, but that's going to do it, man. So once again, my plays are over 8.5 in Tigers, White Sox, and under 7.5 in San Diego and Giants, Padres, Giants. That's going to do it, man. The Fathers against the Nephilim. That's going to do it for me, man. Learn to Toad on Twitter. You can find me there. Learn to Toad on Instagram, where I do some short form betting content on there. Bettor Off Dead, of course, Pettor. Like, subscribe, to the YouTube, interact, reply. I usually get to the replies because there aren't that many. So thanks for all that. Check me out on the audio as well, Spotify, Apple. The more I get on there, the more money I can make off, which is right now it's nothing. So hopefully those audio platforms take off somehow. And then I got Covered in Uke, my ukulele project, which is on YouTube. You can check that out as well. And you can go to patreon.com/learntotode. And you get some bonus uke content if you would like with a Spotify Patreon uke feed and prioritize requests at a higher level. That's going to do it. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Happy Monday. Let's start the week with some winners here, and that's it for now. Peace. Hopefully my voice fixes itself.